Hey, how you doing today? It's Luann on Facebook Live today for talking about why mom guilt is a thing and what you can do about it. And how can you stop beating yourself up for having this mom guilt and for things that you choose to do as a mom. Today, I want to talk a little bit about this because there's so many moms that beat themselves up. There's so many moms that really put pressure on themselves to be a certain way. They have to be perfect. They see these people on Facebook or they see these people on Instagram and they feel like they are not the same, they're not enough. So what I want to share with you today is um, what you can do to counteract this feeling and actually start feeling a little bit better about yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and share some slides with you. I forgot that they weren't not sharing right away. Here we go. Chrome tab. Mhm. And there we are. Okay. If you could tell me if you see those okay, if you could put those in a comment for me. For StreamYard, I'm using StreamYard today. So if you see this, um, it'll give you a notice that you have to give permission for them to say what if I can see your name. I can't talk today. Sorry. So anyway, why mom guilt is a thing and what you can do about it. Um, this is so important to me because I see so many young moms and older moms too beating themselves up for what they did or what they didn't do or how they did things. And what I'd really like to see is people to show each other love and moms to build each other up instead of tearing each other down. Let's start with a laugh because all of us, we can use a laugh. Sometimes we don't get enough sleep the night before. Sometimes our kids have had a tantrum or we've had a rough time with them. And we just could have a laugh. And it just really helps to kind of disperse some of that frustration and pain with them. And it helps to have a laugh because you can change your attitude in a second by laughing. So I put a couple of these wonderful memes I found uh, that I just thought were so funny. I just cracked right up. The first one is this one. Sorry I'm late. Had to wait for my child to go through all of the 5 stages of grief while putting on a pair of pants. I was recently down with my grandchildren, and boy, this one just hit me. It's like, yep, that's about right. Sometimes they just don't want to get dressed, do they? It's like, was it too much for them? And they have to do it at their own speed. Here's another one I really like. Man cannot live on bread alone. Toddler, challenge accepted. So many kids love their bread, don't they? And it's really hard to get them to eat other things. This one really cracked me up this morning, too. If you've never shut all the blinds in the house and lied to your kids, said it was bedtime, are you even a parent? Who's not done that? I mean, come on. I would love you to put that in the comments if you have done this. Or if you haven't, I would love to hear either way. If you're listening to the replay too, just put hashtag replay and then go ahead and put that in there, whether or not you have done this before, because I remember doing that when my husband was working second shift and I was there with the kids. I closed all the windows, I closed all the blinds, and I said, "Oh, darn, it's bedtime already." And I got them all up in their beds, and it was just like, yeah, it was a little bit of a struggle getting to bed because it was a little bit early, but yeah. I felt kind of guilty afterwards. So anyway, it was kind of funny. So why listen to me? I've been there. I've had two daughters that I've brought up. My husband works a second shift a lot of times. I'm a nurse, so a lot of times I'd work a shift, and then I have to get up and take care of the kids. And boy, all these different ways we take care of our kids nowadays, isn't it different? A lot of us work outside the home, or we're working in the home as an entrepreneur, and it takes a lot of energy to be a parent. And it's such an important job, and we really need to give ourselves more pats on the back. I've also seen my two daughters struggle with this doubting themselves as a mom and feeling this mom guilt of, okay, am I doing things right? Kind of struggling with that whole scenario of seeing what's perfect on Pinterest, or on Facebook or Instagram and all these wonderful pictures of these people, and then comparing it to your worst day. And you find out, oh man, I don't even close to measuring up. And you're really hard on yourself. And I'd really like to see that change. I'm also a retired NICU nurse. I worked with moms in the neonatal unit when they had sick babies up there in the hospital. So I've been working with moms for a long time. I've been married to my high school sweetheart for 41 years. He's a wonderful man. I'm mom of 2 awesome grown children who are married and have children. And I'm a grandma of 5 grandchildren, and I love it. I just love being a grandma. It's the best. And their ages from 2 to 12. And they are my favorite source of sunshine. I'm also a certified virtual coach, and I'm a certified neurotransformational coach, and I'm just about a habit coach. I'm almost there. I'm taking courses for it at least, because I think that habits are such a big part of our lives, developing routines and stuff. So that was important to me. So I'm taking classes on that. And I think I'm a certified coach in the school of life because I've gone through it all, guys. I can help you out. I hope. I know I can. So what is mommy guilt actually? It's a pervasive feeling of not doing enough as a mom, or not doing things right as a mom, or thinking your decisions that you're making right now are going to mess up your children in the long run. And this kind of a feeling of, I'm just not enough. Whatever I do doesn't seem to be enough. I try and it just doesn't seem to be enough. So some of the thoughts that could possibly be things that are running through your head is like, I can't believe my kids have so much screen time lately. I'm such a bad mother. I shouldn't have lost my temper with my kid. I'm not fit to be a mother. My kids don't eat enough vegetables and I'm failing as a parent. I couldn't breastfeed my baby exclusively for 12 months, so I'm not a good mom. My child fell and got hurt, and it's all my fault. I should have been there. I'm always working and don't spend enough time with my children. What kind of mom am I? Teresa's family is always doing fun bonding activities. I should be like that and be a better mom. So where do you think your feelings of mommy guilt come from? It's so prevalent now. And it was back when I was bringing up kids too. And you know what? The mommy guilt can still hit you when you have adult children too. So it kind of doesn't go away. You still look back and think, I could have done things different. And there's ways to deal with that. One of the things I see people doing a lot of is comparing themselves to the moms on social media, or the mom up the street that does everything perfectly. And, you have to keep in mind, you're seeing their best day, their best moment, and you're comparing it to most likely to your worst day, and where you're, feeling kind of like you're shortchanging your kids. And I think that we can take it easy on ourselves and not expect perfection. Being a perfect mom is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So why wouldn't you want to just enjoy your time with your kids when they're this age, when they're little, when they're older, when they're in high school, college? I mean, every age has their special moments. Guilt over for things like whether or not your kid has TV time, or, longer periods or not. Sometimes, when you're sick or something, there's not really a lot of choice. Or if you have to do some work at home, there's not a lot of choice but to have, something to keep them occupied. Having food choices like, do I feed my kid enough fruits and vegetables? Are they eating the wrong things or whatever? And like screen time with digital devices nowadays, kids, you have to really watch them because they would like stay on their digital devices all day long if you're not careful. Mommy guilt can also stem back from your own experience in childhood. Mommy guilt can come from, like, if you've had some sort of a childhood trauma that keeps coming up in your mind, and you keep thinking about it, it can affect your being a parent. It can affect what you think and feel about being a parent. It also can be if you have seeing your parents do something that you don't really want to do with your kids, that can put a lot of pressure on yourself and also cause more mommy guilt. And if you're parenting and you're also dealing with something like depression, anxiety, if you're a single parent, all these things can add to mommy guilt. So ways to combat mommy guilt. I really like this kicking there. Kick some ass. Excuse my language. Share your childhood's responsibilities. Now, if you have a partner that you can share with, that's awesome. But many of us are single. Not me, but a lot of people are. I mean, a lot of people are dealing with it by themselves. Maybe they have a partner, but their partner's gone on many hours. They travel or whatever, so they kind of are like a single mom, or their parent. They work a second shift, like my husband did many times, and I would have to put them to bed by myself and do all that bedtime thing, or take care of them for long periods of time by myself. So, if you have that situation, having friends that are in the same situation really helps. Somebody that can talk to you and understand where you're at. And sometimes, even if you have other people like that, you can form like a childcare co-op so that you can take turns going out and doing something different. And one of the things that really help you is to take some time out for yourself. I know that's easier said than done, but you know what? Flight attendants say, make sure you put your oxygen mask on first before you assist your kids with theirs. I mean, we all have to breathe. It's all important. And if we don't get enough breath and we can't get their mask on right away because they're moving or whatever, we'll faint and then we won't have either mask on. So it's really important to take care of yourself first. It's not selfish. It's not anything wrong. I mean, it's to take care of yourself. By taking care of yourself, you are actually going to be a better mom. And, this is the best way you can show your love to your children is by taking care of yourself and taking care of your relationship with your partner also. So what is your truth for your parenting style? And how can you protect that truth and avoid this whole mommy guilt thing by comparing and that sort of thing? Kind of limit who you seek advice from. Reduce that unsolicited input from others by asking advice only from somebody that you trust, like your partner or a family member that is not judgmental or very critical of you. Your pediatrician's a good source, or any judgment-free, like-minded friend that you can bounce off your ideas of. Otherwise, I would not tell them. People that that's going to be critical. Why go there? I mean, why even put yourself in that position where you're going to be criticized? If you don't have somebody like that, find some help. Sometimes there's like coaches that actually do this sort of thing. Help with like if kids are not sleeping well. I know coaches that work with that specifically. With tantrums, I know there are people that work with that specifically, and I work specifically with moms to help them build how they feel about themselves. Excuse me. What I want to do is I want all moms to understand how important their job is, how unique and wonderful they are, to love themselves and show themselves the love that they can have for themselves. It's okay to love yourself. It's not selfish to take care of yourself and take time for you. Also, this is something that you can do for yourself with the idea that you are going to do this for your children, because they don't learn by what we say to them all the time. They're looking at what we're doing. Excuse me. So my dream is for each of you to take this on as part of you, and so that your kids can see it. And their kids are going to learn it, and they're going to grow up loving themselves and having a wonderful self-esteem and a growth mindset and all those things that you can do for yourself. Sorry about that. That was a tickle. And through the trickle effect, see that move on to the next generation and the next generation. And that way we can change the world. One of the things I'd really encourage you to do is listen to your children and what they say. Listen to your intuition. Mommy's intuition is not a myth. There's a wisdom there and a decision-making power that women throughout the ages have used to keep our babies, keep our children safe and healthy. There was a time when I approached the doctor about something, and he thought I was overreacting because I'm a nurse and blah blah blah. Well, I was really glad that I trusted my mother's intuition and went on to seek help from somebody else that would actually listen to me, because I think that really helped the situation. Don't let other judgments in. I mean, you're going to expect some pushback from others when they disagree with your choices. But guard your decisions by avoiding situations in which some family members or neighbors criticize your parenting style, or your neighbor criticizes your parent style, or the person in the grocery store criticizes your parenting style. You know, you are going to run into that. But don't let their other judgments in. You have a choice of whether or not you take that in as a judgment on yourself. What you feel about yourself, that's your responsibility. One of the things I've heard is really cool is that it's none of my business what other people think of me. I love this saying because people are going to make their own judgments, and you can't really always influence what they're thinking. I mean, they make their own judgments based on their experience of life, on their experience in themselves. A lot of times they're reflecting what they feel about themselves onto you. So my recommendation is just don't talk to them about it. Just make your own decisions and try keep that decision and that style of parenting close to your heart, and know that you're right in your heart. Do your part to avoid spreading this mom guilt epidemic. I think each of us have responsibility to other moms, whatever age you are. If you are a woman, or you are a mom, or if you're a dad, or if you're anybody, I think parents need to be encouraged to an encourager to other moms and other parents, and let them follow their own mom's hearts and not criticize them, and not point figures that they're saying that they're making the wrong choice for their children. That's their decision. It's not yours. Avoid the shoulds and the shoulds not when speaking to other moms. Keep your advice to yourself unless you are specifically asked for advice. Avoid comparing your children to other people's children, either bad or good. It's not good for your children to hear that. It's not good for your self-respect for yourself, or for the other person to hear it too. You know, because sometimes it's hard not to boast about your kids, and it's really hard to not boast about your grandkids, believe me. But by avoiding comparisons, even among siblings, you're not going to set yourself up for a problem, and you really will help everybody do well. This is one thing that I really want people to know. Our minds are so strong. They have a lot of power for us if we use them correctly. And what we focus on grows. So if we choose to focus on the negative thoughts, the negative feeling of I'm not enough, I don't do enough, we're going to find proof in the world of what we believe. So my challenge to you is, once you get to those negative thoughts, ask yourself, is it really true? Is that really the truth? Or is that somebody's opinion of it? Or is this being colored by something else in your life that you're questioning? There's also always something that is going to be coming into your awareness, that you're going to have these negative things come in, but it's your choice what to do with them. And I feel like if we can change that negative thought into a less negative thought, or positive thought would be even better. Try to think on the bright side is what I'm saying, I guess, because when you find proof of whatever you believe in the world, and whatever you think really comes to truth many of the times. And another thing is, celebrate your wins. What did you get done today? Focus on what you got done today instead of what's on the list still. By celebrating those wins, you're actually encouraging yourself to do good things the next day. Our brains work that way. That's how our brains work, is that if you encourage yourself by celebrating your wins, you are going to do even better the next day and the next day and the next day. So, what I want you to do is focus on what you did right today. How did you show up as a great mom today? Try not to focus on the negative things and focus on what you did right. And take care of you. Get enough sleep. Don't just rely on coffee all the time. I know that's a big joke about relying on coffee to keep you going or caffeine of some sort. But you're really doing an important job. It's really important for you to take care of you. And I would like to invite you to Breakthrough Stress and Overwhelm 5-day challenge that's coming up. It's free. All you have to do is sign up for it and join us, and we'll all of us will create our personal first aid kit for stress and overwhelm. This is a workbook that you fill in the blank. You'll watch a video. I will send those out in your email, and you'll watch that video. It takes about 5 minutes a day for 5 days, and then take another 5 minutes to fill in the blanks. If you come to the call, that's going to be about 20 minutes. So it's going to be about 25 minutes a day to ask of you. So it's something that I think that you'll really get a lot out of, because it'll be all these different things that you can do when those mommy guilt feelings come up to you. That's a really big stressor for you. And the feeling of overwhelmed, like I'm not doing enough, can really affect your whole attitude, and it can your kids pick up on it. I mean, like I said, they look at what you do, not what you say. And the one thing I would like to try with you today is a tapping exercise that I put together for mommy guilt. Tapping is really easy. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. Emotional freedom technique is another word for it. I use tapping because it's easier to say. Some people call it EFT, and that's a little shorter too. The first thing when we're doing this is I'm going to come back to so you can see me. Because I would like you to be able to see my motions. Okay, we'll go back to here so you can see. We'll remove that part. Okay, so when you do tapping, you use different parts of your head, of your face. What you're doing is you're tapping on the meridian endpoints, and while you do that, you're saying different things. You first of all say the things that are actually coming up in your head, and then you make a switch over to the things that you want to think, what you want to feel, how you want to look at things, and so it switches it over in your brain by doing this. This is really, it's been proven. There's been lots of research done on it. Since they started doing this, they've changed very little, but it focuses on the part of your brain called the amygdala. Your amygdala is the part that does the fight, flight, or freeze part of your brain. You know, it stimulates that adrenaline, like something's really bad, then it's coming my way, like a lion or whatever's coming around the circle. So your brain just goes wild and says, okay, we're going to put this hormone out and this adrenaline out there, and it makes your body function differently. All the blood doesn't go to your brain anymore. It's going to your limbs, so you can run or fight or freeze in place. So the important thing to know about this, it's really hard to concentrate when you get into this fight, flight, freeze, stress response, which is another reason why I want you to have this first aid kit for stress and overwhelm, because you can't concentrate when your brain is not getting blood. And the same thing with sugar. Your brain basically functions on sugar. I don't know if you do that, but yeah, you have to have that glucose in your brain in order for it to function well. But that's beside the point. Anyway, I get distracted. I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and do some tapping. When you tap, you do a setup portion of the tapping, and use this part of your hand they call the karate chop. And you just tap with 2 fingers gently right there. And all during, when I say karate chop, that's what I mean. When I say eyebrow, that's, if you can see that, it's right here. This is where your tapping is right here. When I say outer eyebrow, That's right here, or outer eye, a lot of times I'll say. And then under eye is just right up where the dark circle is under my eye. All right there. And you tap right there. And then under your nose, a lot of times I do it with one finger because it's easier. And I put my finger to the side and tap. And then underneath your lip, it's just right underneath that lip where that little indentation is. That's where you want to do it. And then when you do your collarbone, there's a collarbone. Let me see if I can bring that down farther. Collarbone is right where your breastbone here meets that collarbone here. That's where you want to do, is right at that spot. Tap right there gently. And the underarm one, that's always hard to describe. Well, for the ladies, it's easier because it's right where your bra strap is underneath your arm, right where the end of that is. Tap right underneath that spot, right on where the strap ends. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and get this started. Okay. All righty. The first thing I would like you to do is take a deep breath. Try to get yourself centered by taking a deep breath. You can close your eyes or open your eyes. It doesn't really matter. I like to open my eyes because I don't know. I'm just clearer that way. But you can close your eyes if that's more comfortable for you. Put your feet flat on the floor. Sit up straight with a good posture. Take a deep breath and just breathe in through your stomach and out through your mouth with a noise. Let's do that 3 times. Take a deep breath in through your nose. I was breathing through my mouth, but breathe through your nose. And then out through your mouth, and then go. Make it kind of loud and kind of make it extended if you can. You should, when you're breathing in, it should be shorter than when you're breathing out. So about twice the length of time. All right. And then now I want you to feel into yourself where you have any feelings of doubt or guilt about your parenting. While concentrating on that spot in your body, usually it's kind of consolidates in a part. If you kind of do a scan from the top of your head all the way down to your toes, a lot of times you can sense usually there's like a shape or a feeling of tightness or constriction, or it can be just a lump, like a lump in your throat, how you feel that. It's kind of like that. So try to go from the top of your head all the way down to your toes and do a scan. And as you do the scan, and feel for that spot where you feel this mommy guilt the most. And while concentrating on that spot, I want you to rate it. Rate your feeling from 1 to 10. 1 being very little guilt, and 10 being, oh my goodness, I was an awful mom this morning. Whatever you're feeling right now, rate that right now. Okay, great. The first thing that we'll do is the setup. And the setup, like I said, is the karate chop point right here. And then as you tap, I will say something, and then I'd like you to repeat it. You can repeat it out loud or just quietly to yourself. It doesn't really matter. But either way, just repeat it to yourself. Okay, here, let's get going. You ready? All right, karate chop point. Tap on that. Even though I have these feelings of doubt about whether I'm a good mom, and then you can go ahead and repeat it. I love and accept myself just as I am. Even though I question my choices in regards to my parenting style, I accept that this is the way I feel, and I love and accept these feelings as my current truth. Even though mommy guilt keeps popping up in my thoughts and feelings, I am open and willing to accept a new way. Okay, now we're going to go to the eyebrow. Even though I feel this mommy guilt sometimes, I also know that being a mom is the most important and difficult job out there. Outer eye, right here. Even though I feel this mommy guilt sometimes, I know in my heart that I'm doing the best I can. Okay, now under your nose right here. Even though I compare myself to other moms and sometimes feel like I come up short, part of me knows that I'm looking at someone's best day and comparing it to my worst. Now, as you tap underneath your mouth, um, you don't have to say anything. I just want you to think about what mommy guilt would, what mommy guilt feeling is coming up for you. Let's just think about that quietly a minute while we're tapping. If there's something particular that went on today that you want to tap about, just think about that. Let's go on to the collarbone. Continue um, thinking about what mommy guilt comes up in your life. Okay, under your arm. Okay, now think about where you think that your most of your mommy guilt is coming from. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the top of the head. It's just right in the middle of your head. Now tap on the top of your head and say to yourself or out loud after I say it, even though I compare myself to other moms and sometimes feel like I don't measure up. I am a great mom. I am doing the best I can. Now your inner eyebrow. I am a great mom. Outer eyebrow. I love my kids and I show them that. Under your eye. I take care of myself and feel very comfortable doing that. Underneath your mouth, underneath your nose. I know that self-care is not selfish. I know that self-care actually makes me a better parent for my children. Under your mouth, under your mouth. Even though sometimes I may feel this mom guilt coming on, I have the power to stop it in its tracks. And focus on a win for that day. Oh, your collarbone. Okay, now while you're tapping on your collarbone, I'd like you to go back and do that scan over your whole body again and see if you feel that same spot where you were feeling the mommy guilt before. And what I would like you to do, once you think that of that spot, give it a rating again of whether it's 1, like you don't have much guilt at all, and 10, if it's still 10, give it a 10 about mommy guilt. But if you've made any progress down, like if you've gone from a 10 to a 9, that's progress. And you're doing really great with that. This is something that you can repeat over and over. And if you'd like to get the script to it, I will send that out to you. Just put script in the comments and I'll send that right out to you. Okay. Um, Otherwise, I think I'm going to have this on YouTube so that you would be able to skip forward to it if you want to do it with some help. All righty. So, well, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you being a part of this training today. And I hope that you learned something about mommy guilt and that, it's a choice. You don't have to have mommy guilt. It's something that you can get rid of. It's something that you can stop feeling by choosing to. It's something that we can take care of each other, the other moms with, by um, supporting each other, showing each other the love that we can for each other, and being there for each other when we are feeling low, and giving each other that pat on the back that you all need. So I want you to know that I appreciate you and your job that you do. It's so important to bring up our kids, and we're going to make a difference for the next generation by taking care of ourselves and remembering that mommy guilt is not a needed thing. It's not necessary to feel guilty about your mommy abilities. So if you were interested in that, I will be putting the link to the Facebook challenge. If you would like to go ahead and sign up for that, you can do that too. And I do just coaching with people. If that's something that you would like to get talk to me about, just direct message me or whatever, and we can talk about that, what that looks like. Alrighty. Well, you guys have a wonderful Saturday afternoon. Enjoy those children. Enjoy yourself. Find some time for you today. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.